rough start for the McKinney North Bulldogs so far this year. They've played the tough schedule, and so the wins have not quite piled up just yet, but joined now with head coach Tommy Sills. Coach, that's understandable from the schedule that you've played, and you like how your team is playing so far this year.
Yeah, I really do. I do that on purpose. I really believe that the toughest schedule you can get in pre-district prepares you for district, and the kids have done extremely well. We had one game that we didn't play that well, and it was kind of a blowout, but it really wasn't an indication of how good our team really is. But we've played some really, really tough teams. Some of the top teams in the state, and the kids have just, they've stepped up. They've done a great job.
Your win came against Frisco Centennial 1-0. We have the highlights of that game right now, so we'll get into that. A terrific goal that you scored in that game where it was really team play from the back off a throw-in that allowed you to get the goal.
Right. Right. We've been working extremely hard on when we're in our third of the field. The attack for us has been a situation where we want to try to play the ball on the ground, make it hard for the defense, and finish and get some goals. And we had just worked on it all week long, and boom, 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 here the kids do it, and we score a goal against a very good team.
Only 4 goals this year. That's really been, I guess, the problem for your team early on is just finishing at the net.
That's exactly what it's been. And then the last 2 weeks, that's all we've done is really concentrate on finishing. We have the players. We have the talent. It's just we've had a little bit of run of bad luck. Sometimes when balls look like they're going to get through, defense will just, they'll tip them or they'll do something. But I believe that you make your own luck. And that's through hard work, and our kids have been working hard on finishing, and I think it's going to pay off for us.
So here's the goal that we're alluding to. Describe what happens here on the play.
Throw in by Justin Adler to Florencio Ortiz. Ortiz gets the ball to Kyle Biggio. Kyle does a great job of getting the ball through the defense, and Will Ashun finishes. Will's one of my football players that plays soccer, has played since he's a freshman, and he does a great job of getting the ball by the goalie. And as you can see, Kyle Biggio finishes up after he makes a pass for a 1-2 combination in case Will can't get it past the goalie, any kind of deflection. So had Will not finished with the goal, Kyle was there right to put it in.
Yeah, it wouldn't have mattered if the
it
ball
wouldn't have mattered either way.
But he finished from the tight angle, so he'll take that goal.
He'll take that goal, yeah. He was extremely excited.
Morgan Disney is one of your really outstanding players. Last year, in baseball, we talked about a 40-40 guy that can hit 40 homers, steal 40 bases. He had 20 goals, 20 assists last year, which, especially the high school short soccer season, very impressive. But this year, he hasn't scored yet because you've put him in a different role. Yeah,
Morgan has accepted the role. He's a captain. He's a senior. Morgan basically came to me and said, Coach, I want to do whatever's best for the team. And I said, well, here's what happens. He's a forward. Playing forward is really a tough position. And a lot of times they would mark him because he's dictated as a top player in the area, and they know a lot of times that if they take him out of the game, it could determine our outcome. So I kind of noticed that early in the season, and I went to him and I said, hey, I'd like for you to start playing some midfield for us because the vision, it's open, you do a good job of creating things, and I think it's going to be more advantageous for our team. And he says, that's fine, Coach. I'll play wherever you want me to play. So he's been playing a position that, yes, he can score goals, but it's more like the striker position where, you're going to drop back, you got better vision, you can play the ball through, or you can finish. So he's accepted that role.
And defensively with your team, it's a team that has really kept you in these games, even though you haven't put up the goals. You've only been losing against these top teams by 1 or 2 goals.
Exactly. We actually switched our defense this year. We went to a flat back, and the kids, every game they're getting a little bit better at it. And we have Johnson Jones, we have Caleb Gaylord, Sean Martineau, I have Hugo Adami, Evan Jones. I have 3 or 4 guys that kind of interchange in there that play that are getting better at it every week. And the thing about it is, you take a chance in a flat back because you try to draw them off sides, and if it doesn't get, and some of the goals that teams have gotten, they've actually, I hate to say it, but the McKinney game, Coach Pocock might disagree, I think he was off sides. We tried to draw him off sides, and the ball got through, they're past the defense, and he finishes, and they scored 1 goal and beat us 1-0. So that's what you do in preseason, so that when we get into district, that flat back for us will be really good, and our defense has been playing extremely well.
You mentioned that McKinney game, a 1-0 game. They score early on, and they're able to hold it the rest of the way.
Yeah, it's always a battle with us and McKinney. Alan's one of my best friends, and we really love playing each other. Alan does a great job, and our kids really rise to the occasion. And they scored in the first 2 minutes of the game, and it was just nip and tuck the rest of the game. It was we had some shots on goal. They made some good saves, and we made some good saves. Matter of fact, they had a PK, and our goalie stopped it. Bryce Clark, our goalie, against one of their better players. I mean, it's hard for a goalie to stop a PK, and he stops it, or it would have been 2-0. So
you have a lot of young players as well on this squad, a lot that played as a freshman last year. They're a sophomore this year. You have Scott Bell, for instance, and Kyle Biggio, and if you had a Bagwell on your team, they'd be like the Astros killer bees out there.
That's right. As you can see, Kyle Biggio plays in the middle. He plays forward, and he does a great job of dealing the ball. And we have Scott Bell. Scott's been hurt. Scott got hurt in the Frisco tournament, and will hopefully be back with us when district starts. He plays outside midfield, and he is probably one of the better players on the team that actually can set things up with a cross. The other would be Sean Martineau. Florencio Ortiz does a good job with that too. But Scotty, when Scotty was playing with us, especially in the Frisco tournament, we scored 2 quick goals off against Wichita Falls Ryder. Very good team, went to the state finals last year, and it was due to the fact of Scotty basically crossing the ball and us trying, and actually we finished with the headers and stuff like that. So, and I think Scott scored a goal in that game. So, very, very vital part of our team, but he's been gone for a couple, 2.5 weeks. So, we're looking forward to getting him back.
And missing him indeed. And going into district play, certainly the team that's going to challenge you for the district title is going to be Prosper. They also played McKinney once so far and lost 1-0.
Right.
They'll play McKinney again, and so there's a common opponent for you. So you know it's going to be between you two teams.
I think it's going to be between us and Prosper. I really do. Sherman Denison, in the past, have always had good teams. I don't know. Just looking at their record right now and who they've played, don't know if they're going to contend. I think that we can contend depending on basically how we do against Prosper. Prosper has a very good record right now and have played some pretty tough teams. And, of course, they played some teams that aren't that tough too. So will that hurt them in district? I don't know. I know that what we've done, playing some of the top teams in the state, I think will help us in district.
You're working towards, obviously, the postseason, and last year being the runner-ups to McKinney in your district. Had a first-round exit against Frisco Liberty. Going now into this year, when you get to the postseason, you're building up for that. How does this team move past that game and start winning 1, 2, 3 playoff games?
Well, my first year at McKinney North, we went 3 rounds. Of course, got beat by McKinney in the 3rd round, and we've gone 2 rounds, 1 round, 1 round. I think what it is, and you can see Liberty is ranked #1 in state right now. And we played them last year. I don't think they lost more than 1 or 2 players off that team from last year. So they were a very good team last year, and that's why they're probably ranked where they're at. Our goal is to win district and hopefully play one of those. And Frisco has a great district, so even playing the #4 team from their district. But I think that would set us up better playing #1, playing #4 or #3. Now, if we have to play Liberty or maybe Heritage again, it's going to be tougher for us. So our goal is to win district, so it sets us up for that first round.
Yeah, you want to get that #1 seed because it's much easier to play the other district's #1 seed later in the playoffs than is the first round.
Yeah, it sure is. Yeah, but if you play them in that first round and get by them, then you catch. It's weird.
You can catch some breaks.
Yeah, you can catch some breaks. So you never know.
Playoffs is always crazy.
It is. It is.
For now, we'll just worry about getting that district title.
Now we got to get the district title.
Thanks, Coach Sills, again for
joining us. It's my pleasure.
Us.
Thank you.
McKinney North Bulldogs, as you heard, they've played some of the best teams in the state in both 4A and 5A. So going into their district season, look for the McKinney North Bulldogs to sit atop of that district. It's that time again where we have to close out the show here on Sports Talk. As always, thank you to all 3 boys soccer coaches for joining us today. Next week is a show you don't want to miss. We wrap up the regular season action for girls basketball and find out which McKinney ISD squads made the playoffs. We also find out which team won their first girls basketball district title in school history. From all of us here at Sports Talk, I'm Tyler Sloan. Have a great week.